ready for another lesson?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Back Row Banter, your favorite casual movie talk podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Adam Schwartz, and on this week's episode, we'll be reviewing Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Part 1.
Part 1.
Part 1.
But before we get to the end of that, I'm joined today, of course, by... What name did I give you this week? Self-Destruct Nathaniel Gingrich.
This message will self-destruct in 5 minutes. That's right, 5 minutes. I'm giving you time.
More like 90 minutes. That's usually our runtime. But after this episode's over, your phone might explode.
Well, listen to the episode, pause, and then come back to this part. Put in the show notes.
Okay.
This is where we'll just self-destruct.
Okay. I'll cut that and I'll put it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you want? Okay. What a cool concept, though. The whole self-destruct thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess. It makes sense.
I think if I got one of those packages, I'd just be like, this is awesome, man. Like, it's about to self-destruct. I mean, I'd probably freak out a little bit. Like, self-destruct how? Like, is it like a big explosive? Is it...
It's generally just a little...
It's just a little... Yeah, I know. This is exactly what you need. But, like, what a cool concept. Just, like, no one can know this mission so badly that we're just gonna... You can't even take evidence of it, the fact that we offered you this mission. Like, doesn't get much more top secret than that, you know? Man, what a good, cool concept. What were you gonna say?
I was just saying that I'm self-destructing this week.
Are you?
All the time, yeah.
Doesn't sound good.
No, I guess it doesn't. Maybe, dang, I don't know. You really boxed me into a corner with this one here.
Sorry.
No, that's fine, folks. Yeah, I'm just going to stick with my bit of self-destructing earlier. We can move on. Let's do that.
Yeah. Well, normally I'd move on to Tyler Vidalis. He is MIA.
I'm going to have to go and find him.
Is that your mission? Should you choose to accept?
I've decided.
Find Tyler Vidalis.
I'm going to go down there and find him, folks. Last we heard, he's somewhere in the southern reaches of Illinois, but I'm going to assemble my team of lads.
Okay.
And I think we're all going to go down there and see if we can find him.
All right.
Sounds
like a good plan. Report back.
Search and retrieval mission.
Yeah. All right.
We hear he's in a secret location.
Well, I guess I am not on the need to know on that one.
You're part of the auxiliary team.
Okay. Am I support?
Yeah, guy in a chair.
Gotcha. I love being the guy in the chair. Yeah, it means I don't have to go anywhere.
Blake, you're making our masks.
Ooh.
I got you. Not artistic. They may not turn out who you want it to be.
It's all right. That's what the machine's for.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah. Of course, rounding out the squadron. Well, the only other member of the squadron, since we're not really rounded out this week, it's big bad guy BlakeHolder.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah. Mission Impossible, one of those movies. You need a good bad guy. You know.
And I actually really like the bad guy in this one, man. He's my man.
No spoilers.
That you guys have seen.
No spoilers.
No, it's my man from Paid in Full who actually gives him the drugs. Lulu.
Whoa, that's a deep cut. I never even realized.
God.
When I seen his face, I was like, "Oh my god,
he is."
I only know this guy from one movie. Yeah, classic.
I'm trying to find him on the IMDb.
Welcome back to the Entropy list.
What's that dude's name?
Ooh,
Gabriel.
What's his case? Oh, there he is.
Yes. Oh, well, that's his name in the movie.
Man, his name's Isai Morales. Isai Morales. Okay. Paid in Full. I'm looking. Oh, he's Del. That's where I recognized him from. He's Del in Ozark. Did you ever finish that show?
No.
You suck.
I've realized I don't like shows that make me sad.
Yeah, it is a heartening show for sure. He is Lulu in Paid in Full. That's a good call. Good actor. I like that guy.
Yeah, for sure. I like him.
He makes a good bad guy, apparently. Yeah, fellas, it's gonna be interesting week. We would normally when we're a man down on a review, we'll usually not put it up. We'll make the episode a bit of sizzle. We won't put it up on the entropy list. However, This time around, I think we all decided we do really want to put this movie on the Entropy list. I don't think it's one. Our past Bitticism ones, where it's 3 out of 4 of us, have been like, oh, it's Sisu and 65. Like, do we care if those go up on the Entropy list? Nah, maybe
Wow,
not.
I forgot we did 65 for a minute, fellas. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, probably for the best based on what I heard.
Sure.
But this is Mission Impossible. This is Tom Cruise. This is the man. This is the last action star in Hollywood. This
could end up being one of the biggest movies of the year.
Correct. It's all of that and more.
If not.
And so, of course, we need to put it on the Entropy list. So we're going to rank it, the 3 of us. We're going to see where we put it. And then Tyler, we believe, is just going to give us our ranking later.
I'll let you know once I find him.
Yeah. So that's potentially where he's at, is the theater. We don't know.
Could be.
That's going to be Nathaniel and his team's mission to find out.
We have chosen to accept this.
Yeah, he has chosen to accept. So that being said, let's just roll on into the main review here, I guess. Nathaniel, can you give the listener a rundown?
Well, I'll tell you what.
If you choose to accept.
Yes, that their mission, it did sneak up on me.
Yeah.
Do you know how you catch a unique rabbit?
By the foot.
Unique up on it. Do you know how you catch a tame rabbit?
No.
Tame way, unique up on it.
Okay. What is happening? What is going on?
Sorry, I just needed a little bit of time while I looked up the
That, you know what?
the
I can't
review.
say I've heard that one before, so I thank you for that.
Listeners, if you knew, or maybe you've just forgotten, maybe that joke triggered something in your brain if you've forgotten everything from the last 30 years of your life. How we do the review segment here on Back Row Banter is split into 2 sections. There's the non-spoiler section, and then there's the spoiler section. Pretty self-explanatory. In the non-spoiler section, we'll go around the squadron, tonight a trio, decide if we recommend this movie. It's got to be a yes or no. There is no nuance on the internet. We'll go over the IMDb page, who wrote it, who directed it, who's starring in it, all that good stuff. And we'll talk about it a little bit, but then we'll go into spoiler time. If you don't want to have anything spoiled for you, go ahead and check back in later, though, because we're going to rank it up on our Entropy list, talk about what, the back half of the podcast, what we've been watching, all that good stuff. And, Adam, tell me about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
I would love to. This is a new movie, of course, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 2 hours and 43 minutes and an IMDb rating of 8.1 out of 10, which...
That is high.
If you keep track of our IMDb ratings on all the movies we review, that is rather high. Anything over 8 is pretty high for IMDb. So, good reviews thus far. Directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who has done the last 2 and also wrote the screenplay for Top Gun Maverick. Yes. So him and Tom Cruise seem to be pretty buddy-buddy at this point.
He is Tom's director.
Yes. I love that kind of terminology for that because it's so true. It's just like Tom Cruise is the movies at this point.
Yeah.
Where he's at in his career, it's Tom Cruise's movie.
It literally
And
says a Tom Cruise production.
Does it?
As soon as it opens, it's like Mission Impossible, starring Tom Cruise, a Tom Cruise production at this point.
Good. I'm glad that's how that works out because he is truly the last Hollywood movie star.
He's a force of will.
Yeah. He's a force of nature.
Sheer fucking will.
Could you imagine Tom Cruise as John Wick? That's a multiverse spinoff I need to see.
Tom Wick?
Tom Wick. I feel like that's just Jack Reacher, isn't it?
No.
No, I haven't seen those movies.
Also
It'd
by
be
Christopher
better than
McQuarrie.
that.
Is it? Yeah, I saw he directed one of them. Written by Christopher McQuarrie, Eric Jenderson.
I'm not taking a
Jenderson?
shot at that. I can't
No?
see it right now.
It looks Scandinavian, based on his name being Eric with a K, and then, usually that J is whatever.
a soft yaw.
Anderson, and then Bruce Geller.
Nailed it.
Cast includes, of course, Tom Cruise, but then also Haley Atwell,
Mm.
Ving Rhames,
Mm-hmm.
Simon Pegg,
Yes.
Rebecca Ferguson returns, making her.
She may be number 1
She
now.
may be number 1 with this one.
Yeah.
This is
into
5 or
the-
6.
Oh, yes.
We
we have this
We
conversation,
have this conversation a lot.
every time.
I just got to start keeping track. But I don't mind having this conversation again because if
Yeah.
she's reclaiming her spot at number 1, because we have
Fergie Ferg might be up there.
all right, we have Dune,
Yes.
we have
Dr. Sleep is-
Doctor Sleep, Reminiscence.
Mm-hmm.
Now this,
Yep.
Mission Impossible here. What else we got? It's at least 5, and I think it's 6.
I think we're missing one. Let me.
We
What can I
are
pull?
Arrival. No, she's not Arrival. No, that's Amy Adams. What is she in that I am missing? Let me just go.
That may be it. That may be it. It
No,
may
it's
just be.
5
Oh, she's
at
in The
least.
Greatest Showman,
Greatest Showman.
which was I think might have been your birthday pick like 2 years ago.
That was Ties.
Ah, okay. But I think
Yes.
that's the one we're missing. It's The Greatest
Yeah,
Showman.
that would be in there too.
Dude, I feel like we're missing one.
So
I
that'd
might be
be
wrong.
Greatest Showman gets us to 6, right? Or am I mistaken?
That's
5.
5. Yeah, that's 5. It's just 5, I guess. Damn, I really thought she
I
was
think
higher.
she's at 5.
Okay, she's at 5, which I don't think takes it. I think that ties maybe Willem Dafoe. Anyway, little side tangent there, but Rebecca Ferguson. And then we have Vanessa Kirby, Isai Morales, and Pam Clementif.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I think that one's a little bit easier. And then I think we'll leave it there. There's a lot of other characters, a lot of people here and there that you might recognize or know, but I think that's where we'll keep it for now. The IMDb summary reads as follows. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team must track down Tyler Vidal's... Oh, sorry, this is... Got a little real there. Ethan Hunt and his IMF team must track down a dangerous weapon before it falls into the wrong hands. I feel like you could write that description for any of the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
I like it
copy and
kind of vague
paste it.
though.
No,
I
I
like
love it kind of vague because it's like it's Mission Impossible. You know what you're getting. It's not like it's a romance movie all of a sudden. Although, you know, just like any Mission Impossible, there's some romance
Is there?
plot lines, kind of, maybe.
You love interest things going on. for
There's
sure.
always a love interest
Are
here.
they?
I don't know.
Ethan and Ilsa.
Is it for love triangle? Kind of.
Are they?
Will they? Won't they? You know,
Tom
one of
Cruise is
those
not
kind of things.
allowed.
Is he actually under contract? Like, can you not?
He's
Or is it Scientology? Is that what
he
it is?
can't kiss a woman. He can only kill them with his
Stop it.
kisses.
Why? Why is it Scientology?
I don't know, man. I'm just telling you, it's out there. Start looking at it. I don't think he's kissed a woman in a movie for years.
That's so
You know what
funny.
it is.
Do we?
Well,
Do,
you know what they
do
say.
your
If the
research,
internet says it,
people.
it must be true.
do we know how much running is in this movie?
Enough.
Not a lot, though.
Ah,
He runs on top of the roof.
yeah.
That's true.
Speaking of running,
I mean, I guess
man, and
it's a
obviously
little
that's
spoilers, but he
something that
runs. He
goes
runs on a
in
roof.
every
That's every Mission
yeah.
Impossible. But
Speaking of running, and that's something that goes on in every Tom Cruise film, though. But this guy's form is impeccable.
He's good. He's
Oh,
a great
yeah,
runner.
He's a great runner.
I mean,
Oh my god,
He makes
bro.
he makes me.
you cannot
jealous.
deny that
No.
him running is cinema. Like it just
No,
is.
that is
you know?
cinematic.
that is
is-
textbook
it's-
form for sure.
It is.
Anybody who's like been around like sports or like sprinting and track, that is like teach tape of how you want somebody to run in terms of form, knee drive.
He
It's
is
good, man.
He is
It's beautiful.
cinema's greatest runner. I think
Yeah.
at this
that-
point,
that
I'm ready to
is,
call it cinema's greatest runner, Tom Cruise.
I don't think you'd be far off, but of course, if you've missed the joke here, it's that for a while there was kind of a relationship and a correlation you could draw between how much Tom Cruise runs and how much the box office makes for the movie. So it's just like how much time he has on screen running. It was positively correlated to how much money was being
Potentially exponential.
made. They say correlation doesn't equal causation, but I think Tom Cruise begs to differ. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, what are we thinking here, fellas? This is Mission Impossible number 6 here.
Dead Reckoning.
Dead Reckoning, 1 of 2. Are these the finale of the series, of the Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise series?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Okay. Because
It'd be weird to do a
Tom
part
Cruise.
1 and not finish it on part 2, I suppose.
I just use, when you do a finale, like, I would just assume a 2-parter would be a good thing for a finale. How old is Tom Cruise at this point?
He is 61.
Holy
It's got to be north of
crap.
60. Yeah.
He looks so good for 61, man. He's reached regal status.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
He has aged from sexiness to regalness. That's why he can no longer kiss a woman. It would elevate them to royalty, and we can't have that, Adam. There'd be too many queens out there. Not that you aren't all
Oh.
queens already, folks.
Oh, Nathaniel. Yeah, so I don't know if this is the finale of the Mission Impossible Ethan Hunt. They can't make him forever.
You say that.
I say that.
I've actually heard he wants to do these till he's north of 80.
That's
That's
what
what
that.
they say.
Yeah, that's
probably
what I
not.
heard.
Probably not likely, to be honest with you. But man, I mean,
Harrison
even if he
Ford.
can make it to fucking, if he can make it to 70, that'd be impressive.
As I've
With
said
the stunt-
before,
with the stunt work he's doing.
he's clearly trying to kill himself through cinema.
Okay, but
And they
hear me
won't
out,
let
then.
him
So,
die.
I
yeah,
think
that is
he-
true. Some people say he's looking for new ways to kill himself on the set, quote unquote. But
I
hear me
think
out
he
then. So,
has,
I mean,
like,
if he
the-
wants to do these till 80 or 75, I mean, do they call it a quits when they can no longer get him running with the form?
Oh,
and
is
the
that what
speed
it is?
He's currently doing that,
No,
right? Does that go first, or are they just like, you know what?
no, I
We'll
don't think you
fucking
need him
CGI that
running.
shit.
Either CGI him.
Oh my god,
Body
I don't think-
double.
Same, though,
I don't
man.
think Tom
I
would
wanna
allow
see
that.
Tom Cruise CGI.
That's
exactly.
true.
I think his ego's too big. I don't think he would allow
agree.
that.
I
think-
agree. I think Mother Nature gets him before anybody else does. Same thing with sports. You know what I mean? It's just
Father Time,
I think
unbeaten.
I think he taps out when he doesn't get that knee drive.
I don't know, man. Or he just, hear me out, he switches to biking. He becomes cinema's greatest biker.
Yeah, for sure.
Tom Cruise as a Lance Armstrong biopic.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Or, and here we go, transition movie.
Tron.
No, Razor Scooter.
Whoa,
It's kick scootering around.
that threw me for a loop. Could you imagine him in Tron though? Ooh,
Ooh,
digital. Oh, he couldn't do that. He doesn't want CGI. Never mind.
that's true.
But all right, talk to me about the film, fellas. What do we?
Yeah,
what do we think?
we are loose early.
We
this
are
is
very loose. I
bit
don't
of
know what's
sizzle
going on.
energy right
It
now.
is bit of sizzle.
It's only three of us though, so it's expected.
Sure, we
Yeah.
gotta fill.
Yeah. I'm a fan. I'll say it. Sorry if that's controversial. No, this is a great movie. I would say it's great. Is it the best Mission Impossible? Not for
Ooh.
me personally.
Fan.
I can understand.
Debatable.
Yeah. Debatable, of course. These last
Mhm.
three now have been all incredible. I don't
For sure.
think there is a bad Mission Impossible film, and this is certainly continuing with that trend. So yeah, I am definitely a fan. It's fun. Pretty much, it's a 2-hour 43-minute runtime, and it just there's no points where I'm like this could be cut or we could have a break here or like it's dragging here. Like they use it very effectively. You are going from place to place, scene to scene, sequence to sequence very quickly, and they are always kind of keeping you engaged. There wasn't much to be like down on in terms of, hey, I wish this would go a little quicker here. It's a long runtime. No, you don't really feel the 243. It the movie kind of ends and it's movie ends and you're just don't even realize it ends. You know, one of those that went pretty quick.
I feel like out of the summer of two-parters, this one is up against Across the Spider-Verse in terms of most kind of even-handed pass-off to part two.
Mm-hmm.
And that you are like, yes, that is a movie that ends satisfyingly while also having a direct sequel afterwards.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I like it a lot. What is that from?
No idea off the top of my head. It's one of those phrases that could be from anywhere, sir. It's the
Yeah.
internet's phrase.
I definitely know what it's from. I just can't think of it right now, but it doesn't really matter.
Blake,
What-
if you're talking, we cannot hear you.
No, I haven't said.
Okay,
anything.
sorry. You looked like you were talking for a second. Anyways, my thoughts. Yeah, I don't know. I've been living in a weird reality because Waz, who is my roommate, did not really enjoy this movie all that much. And I very
Oh.
much did enjoy this movie, and I don't know if I'm wrong or
No,
not.
we need to qualify that. Waz has only seen Mission Impossible 1 and 2 and has decided to just go into 6 without seeing 3
Oh my
through,
gosh.
3 through
True.
5.
So wait, so he didn't even see
he hasn't seen
the last one, Fallout.
He hasn't seen all of the best ones.
Oh
Which-
jeez, yeah,
three,
that's
four,
a jump
five-
going from 1 and 2.
This is 7.
This is
to what
7.
they're
Yeah,
doing
so
now.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, we've been calling. I think we've been calling
I
it
called it 6. I think
6 this
but
episode.
yes,
yeah,
this is 7.
yeah. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning is Mission Impossible 7.
Apologies.
Yeah, don't tweet us, or do.
Or 2.
Give
we
us
need
the
the engagement.
Anyways, yeah, I've been living in a messed up world where I didn't know if my opinions were not, but like hearing that it's got an 8.1 on IMDb, it means I guess more of the world is of the opinion that it is really good, which I do think so. Like it just feels like a movie in some ways. You know, it's very practical. There's cause and effect, setup and payoff. All of those are really great. The the gang's back together. Tom Cruise looks awesome. The
settings are great.
the set pieces are really, really fun. I
Yeah.
think the villain is,
Unique and interesting.
I don't know if it's unique, but it's
You
definitely.
don't think it's unique?
I don't know if it's unique, but it's one of the better takes on that I've seen
Okay.
so far.
Okay,
in
I could agree
in
with
that
that. I
in
could agree with that.
execution in that kind of sense.
I think for me it's unique in the sense that like it's very modern to what's going on.
I'll put it this way: it's the first time that style of villain has been used that I felt like genuinely it would be a threat
Okay, sure.
to everyday society kind of thing.
If that sounds very cryptic to anyone who hasn't seen this movie yet, that's intentional. You don't really want the villain spoiled for you.
yeah.
So we will talk about that more in spoilers. But if you have seen the movie, hopefully you understand what we're referencing with all of that.
Moving on, performances all uniformly pretty great across the board, I think, and
Haley
direction.
Atwell was great.
Yes, Haley Atwell.
Yeah, she was definitely a standout for me. Had a lot in this movie and handled it all really well.
It makes you wonder what the fuck Marvel has been doing for years,
Yep.
just kind of sitting on her contracts.
Yep. just
Maybe
Doctor Verse,
Maybe-
Multiverse of Madness cameos.
maybe just killing her off wasn't a great idea.
Who would have thought, Nathaniel? Who would have thought?
What is she in the Marvel universe?
She's
she's
Peggy Carter.
Yeah, she is Captain America's love interest in
in the first one.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then she's
Right,
in
that is
Doctor
her.
Strange,
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness as
Briefly.
Captain Carter,
yeah.
who is the British Captain
She's
America.
also in
Yeah,
Civil.
I remember
She's
that,
also
okay,
in Winter Soldier and Civil War too.
Or is it Captain? What's her character's name? Is it
Captain Britain, Agent
Captain,
Carter. Is
I was
what
about
you're
to say
thinking of.
Agent Carter. Yeah, Captain Britain. I was going to say Captain Carter is not the right.
I didn't even piece that together till you guys said it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Valid point. Valid
Yeah,
point.
because I saw her and I was like, I know her. And then
The way
I was
they
like,
shoot her,
wait, I really like her.
Yeah, the way they shoot her, they're like, it's like, oh, this is a movie star, and
Yes.
like, and I don't, you totally buy it. Like,
Yeah,
you're just like,
you
oh
do.
yeah, of course, yeah, this
Yeah.
is. She should be the most famous woman in the world.
She's
like,
right up there with Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah.
And they share the screen and you go, oh, these two people are equals. And then you look at their IMDb and you're like, oh, they're not. And in terms of, what they've done in their career, but the acting
Right.
chops, clearly, Haley Atwell has proved herself here. I would love to see her in more stuff after this, and maybe not just her being tied to Marvel in that sense. I think this was a bit of a sleeper pick, It was that prospect you never saw coming, and then all of a sudden Ellie De La Cruz hits a cycle.
Mm.
This is Haley Atwell in Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
mhm.
Yeah.
Fuck Marvel. I just wanted to say that. I'm tired of their films. But yeah, as far as MI7, fellas, I mean, I'm pretty much on board here with the group. I saw it with my pops Sunday afternoon after spending the morning over there getting breakfast with the fam. I don't know if hard to digest, right? Only 2 days removed. I don't know if I could say it's my favorite MI. Definitely debatable. Definitely debatable. This is one of those series. Me and Nathaniel were talking about the story the other day where you could argue that this has gotten better with every entry, which is insane because we're at 7 entries. It's not
Yeah.
like we're talking 3 films. So
Right.
when you kind of put that into perspective, like, yeah, they've got a formula, right? That they know what works. One, obviously, is Tom Cruise is the common denominator. You get a love interest in a few of these movies, right? You get some sort of mission. Obviously, the action is always top tier. Maybe the hand isn't what we're seeing from John Wick in genre setting and things. But as far as just kind of like the boldness, how big the movie feels, it's epic. So it's definitely solid through and through. I think I would still immediately after watch put Fallout above it, just because Fallout probably has my favorite Mission Impossible action sequence, and that's that bathroom.
Sure.
This does have this actually I believe has two really good action sequences. I don't know if it's anything that's Mission Impossible. Although I do think that train sequence at the end is very good too. May go on for a little bit too long, but
whoa!
yeah.
We're not in spoilers yet. Hold on.
Oh, I mean, it's not saying anything though. It's just a set piece. So, but yeah, that's about it. I would say, but yeah, definitely recommend. I think the three of us would recommend it. You'd have to just really not enjoy movies to not go see this movie. I would say.
Yeah.
My mom was close to seeing this with us. That's like how big Mission Impossible is. For context, me and my dad were like, oh, we're gonna go to the movies. My mom's usually the person who like doesn't want to tag along for anything.
Right.
That's like movie or sports related, but it was Mission Impossible. My mom was like, oh, like, yeah, I kind of want to go. And then was like, well, we're going to leave in like 15 minutes. And that just doesn't fly with my mom. So she was like, you guys can just go without me. So, but yeah, you could see it's a big film, get the family together. I had a decent it wasn't 100% north of probably 75% capacity. I did an IMAX showing and only a few empty seats for sure. How was your guys' showing? You did a Sunday night, right?
We did a Sunday night Dolby Digital.
Yep.
Pretty packed theater. When
sure.
Papa Schwartz tagged along, a Back Row Banter canon event occurred where Papa Schwartz met Brandon Wozni and Joe Godomsky.
Hey.
And Brittany.
Brittany Gundy.
Yeah, shout out Brittany. But yeah, so Papa Schwartz tagged along. So packed, in fact, that he could not sit with us. He bought his ticket after we did, and long story short, he just didn't sit with us. But yeah, very packed theater.
Yeah.
Everyone was there to see the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Cruise. Yeah, and looked great in Dolby. Sounded pretty good.
Good film for a packed theater, though.
Oh,
this
yeah.
is one of those you want to have that. You can hear people kind of like the gasp and the ahs at the action scenes and things of that nature. You can hear the bickering back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely one you want to see with the crowd.
Yeah.
Y'all want to get into spoilers? I think we're three recommends all the way around. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I guess I kind of spoke for everybody, but I was
Definitely.
just reading the room.
You are 100% correct, sir.
And I like your idea to head into spoilers, so we're going to go ahead and do that. If you have not seen Dead Reckoning and do not want it spoiled for you, go ahead, check that episode description. We'll leave the timestamp you can jump to, or you'll be taken to the ranking of the movie have upon our Entropy list. Whoa, that was weird.
Sorry, sir.
Put me back. Take me back to Nathaniel. I want to be robot, or what was that launch station, Adam?
I was gonna set it up for spoiler time for you to launch us into spoiler time.
Let's do it.
Whenever you're ready. In 3, 2, 1.
Spoiler time. That's the megaphone effect.
Oh, okay. That was a little anticlimactic. Do you have a spoiler? Was that the spoiler noise?
That was gonna be the spoiler noise.
All right,
sir.
cool. We're in spoilers.
Hey.
Shit goes down.
So yeah, I mean,
Goes down.
to jump it off, I'm with Nathaniel on with the main antagonist and as being like AI, artificial intelligence, which I think works well in today because I think it'd almost be like
Blake,
comedic, for lack of a better term.
hold on.
Yep.
We lost you a little bit on the whole last bit. I could
I
tell
think
what
it
you.
was- I think your internet's cutting out a little bit in and out.
Yeah.
You got me right now.
Yes.
Yeah,
it
you're
did.
good now. That was
Okay.
weird.
You said
to,
it was
to jump off
AI?
where we're at. Yeah, so with the antagonist being AI, as Nathaniel was kind of hinting at earlier, I'm agreeing with you in terms of actually being a pretty good villain in today's society, just as we're seeing like where things are going with algorithms and things of that nature. Where I feel like if this was done like 20 years ago, it's like comedic, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. Well, even Ultron
was-
from the Avengers a few years ago is
Yeah,
technically
true.
AI,
What's that? Probably
you know?
14?
Yeah, 2014. Yeah.
15? Yeah. So it even hits home even harder 10 years. Fast forward 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then as I kind of mentioned earlier, with seeing what was his name? Isa Morales.
Mhm.
When I seen him on the screen, it was literally one of those. Now, oh shit! Like pointing at the screen, looking, I was like, I know what that took me
Did
forever to
your
realize.
dad
it.
recognize him too?
Not immediately. Like I was like, oh, what is he from? Then like I had to keep going, and then it didn't really hit me till the scene where him and Paris are talking to, I can't think of his name, American general guy who also knows where the AI is in the ship.
Kittredge.
It just
no,
kept,
it's
Kittredge.
the other.
No,
Oh,
that's
no,
not
no.
Kittredge. Kittredge is the guy
CIA
they're
director.
bonding their
Yeah,
key
it's Carrie Elwes from Saw and The Princess Bride.
Yeah, I knew it was a Saw guy. It's like, yeah, that guy's very distinct looking face. But that's when it hit me there, and I was like, oh my god, that's my man from Paid in Full. So, but yeah, side story on that. But yeah, nonetheless, though, I mean, it was pleasantly surprised. One thing I would kind of ramble on, mentioned like a Mission Impossible, John Wick kind of merged realms, right? What do people like? Mentioned John Wick, the hand-to-hand pushing boundaries where this doesn't necessarily have that, but in terms of like the live stunts of like fucking jumping off a cliff with a motorcycle and hang gliding and shit like that, unbelievable. But one thing I would say kind of weird to me and probably my biggest drawback of the film is the character Paris, played by what's his name, Pom
Clementieff.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
Her character to me looks like straight out of, with like the face paint and the face tattoo.
Straight out of what?
It's really weird. It looks straight out of John Wick to me.
A little bit. Yeah.
And she has like a sword. She's like the only person like didn't really fit well.
I would
in the
agree
movie.
with that.
I guess in the grand scheme of things, like I was totally fine with it. But it was just like, oh man, like she'd be awesome in the John Wick universe. But yeah, that's kind of my quick ramble. Somebody else, please go ahead. Yeah, overall, definitely like it.
Adam?
Yeah, I had a great time with this. I think in terms of the AI, I think the thing that I like about it most, or maybe not most, but the thing I really like about it is I think I mentioned for Maverick, how there's a line in Maverick where he's talking to the General Ed Harris, and he's saying how drones and automation are gonna make pilots extinct, and you're never going to be able to keep up. And he says, I'm going to keep flying until I can't anymore, or whatever it is. And it's kind of like almost a euphemism for Tom Cruise and CGI in Hollywood and
special effects
and everything. And now they just straight up made AI the villain. Tom Cruise is just fighting computers. So I love that kind of aspect of it, is that this whole setup is just Tom Cruise fighting a computer, which is also just Tom Cruise fighting CGI in Hollywood, which is great. In terms of like how the villain plays out, I'm glad. I think they handled it well, because you need to have a face to the villain. If they just made it the AI without Isai Morales, I don't think it comes off. I don't think you have any attachment to the villain if it's just an algorithm that's anywhere and everywhere. Like, giving it a face was very smart. Giving it a face that we already recognize is very smart, and have kind of a connection to. It all works really well, I think, when you kind of put it all together. And I'm excited to see how they play it out in the second one too, because I think they could really up the ante a little bit with how it all plays out. And because I think the second half of this film, when you kind of really see, the algorithm truly just does have everything planned out and like can see every predictable outcome. And so like, how do you counter that? I think they're going to play with that in the second one quite a bit, because that also benefits us, because they're going to play with our expectations in addition to that. If there's ways to kind of maneuver the audience's expectations along with the characters, and then kind of switch both of those. So very excited to see how they do that. I think the biggest thing for me that was like maybe not annoying but just disappointing is it felt like we kept going through the same motions in this film, in terms of like, all right, so this Grace character is introduced. She's a thief. She's a rogue. She's not working for anybody except
Played
for
by
herself.
Haley
Atwell, yes. And so she's on her own, whatever, and Tom Cruise is trying to help her out.
And then she runs away
She runs away 8 times. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, okay, can we just make her... She seems so intelligent, but when she keeps running away like that, it makes me just hate her. It makes me just annoyed as like a viewer. Like, I get it once, twice, 3 times. It happens straight up like 4 or 5 times.
No, I definitely felt like that.
Yeah, at least it feels like it. It's just like, I need her to learn sooner. I needed her to learn just a little bit sooner. I think the one that killed me was the train tracks in Rome after he literally they've got cops, or they got Italian cops, they've got US CIA, and they've got some rogue assassin all chasing them, and he's the one driving the car to help her escape, and she's still gonna run away from him. And it's just like it felt to me like just annoying. Like at that point, the character, if you want me to respect her as a viewer, the character needs to learn quicker. And so and it just, I don't know. That did really annoy me. I'm not gonna lie. That it just felt like it was the same thing over and over. Because like the first hour and a half of the film feels like it's Tom Cruise chasing her, and like at a certain point, you just need to have him or have her trust him. And you don't need Rebecca Ferguson's character to die in order to do that. So I wish that all changed a little bit sooner. I just felt like it went on one or two times too long. That's my biggest gripe with this film is it feels like a lot like. The first hour and a half of it to 2 hours of it is just the same sequence of events happening in 4 or 5 different locations. Now, that being said, those sequence of events are very entertaining for what they are. I mean, the airport sequence is very fun, where you kind of have...
It is.
The airport sequence is great, where you have the cops chasing fake Tom Cruises, which is great. And then you have the bomb kind of set piece, and then you're introduced to the fact that Esai Morales is back. What were you going to say, Blake?
I was gonna say, yeah, that airport scene is probably one of the better scenes in there, and it's interesting too because there's really not a lot of action in there. That's all just like tension and suspense.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's very well done.
Is there even? I think there's one death right in that airport scene where they kill the guy who was usually going to be the buyer.
Right.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then I think that's it. Yeah. So, but just between like that nuclear bomb that was allegedly going to go off, it was a lot of tension going on. And not to cut you off too, the one thing that another gripe I do have with that scene, and I guess it's the only way to kickstart the movie too, so I guess it's easy to kind of nitpick it, but I guess I don't understand how they went there with the plan where they had half the key, right? They were trying to locate who had the other half. Is it Grace? Is that her name?
Yeah.
In the film? Yeah, so Grace ends up, she's a thief, as Adam said. She pickpockets the other half of the key from the would-be buyer. And then Tom Cruise runs into her, Ethan runs into her, and then he's basically like, all right, well, now we're going to work together, and hands her the key. And I'm, man, that seems kind of insane, but I guess nobody knows ways. But it was still like, that sounds like, I don't know why we would take that much leap into this stranger of if we're trying to attain the other half of this thing. Why are we, I don't know why he trusted her so much from the beginning. I guess that's my,
right.
That was a little strange to me.
Yeah, he did kind of just go all in terms of like trusting her for sure. Which did seem a little bit odd.
Go ahead though, man. Yeah, you were on a roll, so you're talking about the airport scene.
No, it's all right. Yeah, the airport scene, and then I don't even know where they go to after that. I guess Rome is the next one after that.
Yeah, that's when she hops on the plane. Grace is then detained by Rome because AI obviously knows she had the key.
Yeah. And then where did she go after the train tracks? Maybe the train tracks one isn't where I should be annoyed. Maybe it should be the, I don't know, one after that. But it did just feel like for so long she's running away. And I'm just like,
yeah, because the train tracks, right? She leaves them in the car, and then from there she goes. Where does she go?
I don't remember. Maybe that's bad. But
yeah, that's when Ethan gets picked up by Simon Pegg and Vin
do they
Rames.
go to Venice? Is Venice the next sequence? But at Venice, they're all together, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, how do they get back all together? Because I know, like I said, he's picked up by Simon Pegg and Vin Rames.
Yeah, I know they meet up in Venice.
I don't know how they get in.
I don't know.
But yeah, nonetheless, it was cool. How do you like that train sequence at the end, man?
I loved it.
In terms of like from the beginning where Tom Cruise or Ethan is obviously riding the motorcycle. He's going to have to fucking jump off the cliff.
Oh, you mean the whole like ending?
Not necessarily the ending, just I guess the entire train thing where you understand like what they're going to do. So Grace puts on the Ilsa mask. She's going to go there and she's obviously going to trade the coin for the currency, right?
Sure.
So that way they can try to figure out or not the coin, they're going to try to trade the key for currency, to try to figure out what the key opens, because Gabriel, probably 92%, the only person who, as the viewer, knows what the ship is and what the key opens is Gabriel. So the whole thing, they're like, well, you just can't.
There, Blake.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just for like the past like 30 seconds of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, they mentioned that they have to get on the train, right? he opens because for 90% of the film, the only person the viewer knows, who is aware of what opens and everybody else is trying to figure that out. So that's kind of like the catch with the film, right? You're like, how are they going to? Then you end up realizing that Gabriel knows and the other gentleman, like the American general guy, he also, Gabriel then turns on him because he to be the only person who knows what the entity actually is and how to control it, right? He kills him immediately, and that's how we kind of kick off that final act.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to go back to, I don't even know if we talked about it. Did we mention that Rebecca Ferguson dies?
Yeah, I mentioned it.
Okay.
Kind of.
Sad. Do we think she actually dies though?
Someone asked me that. I don't know how she wouldn't be, but like, I don't know. I feel like at this point, if she does come back, that to me is Fast and Furious level of betrayal.
Yeah,
with Han,
for sure.
That to me is almost equivalent. So I don't know.
And it's tough because they had the earlier fake out death in the beginning. You know what I mean? So you're like,
Right.
man, if they were to double down on that thing for Ilsa, it'd be interesting.
Right.
For sure. Another quick, is that person really dead? Do we think Paris is actually dead?
No.
No.
I was okay.
No, they said
for
we got a heartbeat or something, which I was glad for. I like her character.
Mhm.
I think
For
it's
sure,
cool.
she's awesome.
Or I think she's cool. So I'm glad. I just didn't like how it was like they dragged out her death so hard, and then it's like, oh, we got a heartbeat. It's like, okay, just like you didn't have to kill her, kind of, and then just say, oh, we got a heartbeat. Like just be like she's pretty severely injured. Just leave it there. I don't know. She like went limp, and it was pretty obvious that they want us to think she was dead. Like, I don't know. I guess you wanted to be an emotional beat, but I didn't really believe she was dead anyway. So, man, just some questionable decisions in terms of that. But I don't know. Can you blame them? Some things just kind of got to happen, and you want.
They needed to
emotional
kill
beats.
somebody.
Yeah, you need somebody to die in that train sequence. So, as far as like I think the train car sequence where they're climbing up, and
that's awesome.
we call it the Uncharted sequence before Pod, but yeah, I think that sequence.
Oh,
is fantastic.
really? Yes, you guys.
Yeah. Brandon mentioned it, and it's funny because it's I think it pretty
It's
much is.
It's
simultaneously.
very video gamey. For sure.
No, they're the first or the second Uncharted. Is that
Yeah,
what you
it's
said?
Uncharted 2.
Uncharted 2 starts with a train sequence that is pretty much that.
It's simultaneously
Oh,
that and the SUV or not SUV, the RV over the side of the cliff in Lost World, Jurassic Park.
I'm trying to think of what you're talking about.
That's where it's specifically like they're in a big RV. Man, if Tyler was here, he'd support me.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you lost me, man. I don't
They're
have
in
a deep memory.
They're
of
in a big
Jurassic
RV like that, and it's simultaneously like it's like a 2-car setup with an accordion center between the two of them, and one of them goes over the cliff, and the back end of it is a great big window, and one of the characters falls off and hits the window, and it starts to crack, and then they're sitting there trying to get off of the window.
Do kind of remember
As
this.
it starts to crack, as Julianne Moore is trying to get up there, and then there's stuff falling from the top of it, trying to slowly
Yeah.
break the glass.
I do definitely vaguely remember this. However, I don't plan on ever watching the Jurassic World movies. Probably
Not Jurassic World, Jurassic Park.
Oh, it's
Dumbass.
Jurassic Park. Then
Are those the OGs?
Yeah, The
Yeah.
Lost World, the second Jurassic Park.
got it.
Spielberg sequel. Get on it. Jeff Goldblum,
Who I love that guy.
90s. Pete Postlewaite. Anyways, back to Mission Impossible. No, this is great. It's really, really fun. It's like it's one of those ones that's tough to critique because like we all liked it, obviously.
We all liked it, and also it's just like action, and so it's
Well, it's just it is a full-blooded like movie. The ones that like we talked about feel like you don't get anymore. Feels like a movie that was built from the ground up in terms of this character will do that because it either A, looks cool, B, helps the plot in some way, or C, hopefully both. And
Right.
like it doesn't feel like a movie that's like, okay, we have to appeal to the widest audience. Widest, not whitest, widest audience, and like get it into multiple different markets and that
Right,
kind of
right,
thing,
right.
and build the next. Because it's not a giant brand, you're not building to the next reveal or, hey, remember when this character was from the first one showed up again, that kind of thing. It's just allowed to be what it is, which is a big cinematic blockbuster action movie. And it's a really good one of those.
It's a very good one of those. Yeah.
I do think it's weird, the kind of like plot point that they genuinely bring up and address in this movie, that's just there's a weird history of brunette women in this franchise that are there for a movie and then just kind of get forgotten.
Yeah. No, it is funny.
And then, yeah, I wish they hadn't killed Rebecca Ferguson. Furthermore, I
For
wish Eye Patch Ferguson had been
Oh, man.
a more permanent addition
I was
to
about to say,
the movie.
I wish she just lost an eye, period.
Which is a weird thing to say about anyone, especially if you haven't watched this movie. If you're in the spoiler section, just off on your own. That's a weird phrase for you.
Yeah.
But
Wasn't Waz saying Rebecca Ferguson had the eye patch because she can't close one eye?
no, that was me. I
Or
said
you were
that.
saying that? Okay. Well,
From
Nathaniel
Twitter.
was saying.
Well,
after the
Simon
movie,
Pegg. Yeah.
Simon Pegg revealed in an interview or whatever it was that she had the eye patch because she can't.
Close one
Close one
eye.
eye.
Yeah, she would end up closing both.
Yeah. So obviously, no CGI allowed. So you can't CGI one eye open. So you have to close.
This is Mission Impossible. If we can do it practically, we do.
So that's why we conjured up a dust storm.
That's right.
Christopher Nolan be like,
we
gets
got
me some
6
fans.
jet engines. And we
Yeah.
just sat them out in the desert
Oh my
and blew
God.
down a whole hill.
That scene was pretty cool with the dust storm, though, to kind of
was
limit
cool.
some of the visibility in there.
It was
That
a
was
little-
cool, but
little
that
hard
was
to
a
keep
scene
track
that
of
had
who's what.
I was like, yeah, that was
And
cool
where.
to see that scene, but that was a scene that had so much gunfire where I was like, man, I wish this was John Wick. That was the only time
Sure.
where I was in that
Mm.
movie and I was like, I wish this was a John Wick scene.
Well,
Um,
I did think of John Wick when they opened that shot, and I just saw horses back riding
Oh,
in the
exactly.
desert. That's exactly
Exactly.
what I thought of.
exactly, bro.
I like how much Vanessa Kirby's brown eyes completely change her face. Like, did you notice that when it's Haley Atwell being her, she's got the brown contacts
Oh,
in,
sure.
and it's just like that is a different person than her normal.
She did look
character.
she looked pretty different. She's good too, actually. Vanessa
like her.
Kirby. Yeah, she's great. What else is she in? I'm looking at her. IMDb
The
right now.
Crown was her big break,
Okay.
and then she's also in Hobbs and Shaw.
Haven't seen either. But she's good. I'd love to see her in more.
Yeah, she's great.
I've liked her in this and Fallout. She's very good. Simon Pegg's great. And what's Luther? What do we say? I forgot.
Ving Rhames.
Vin Rhames.
Rhames.
Both are good. I love Vin Rhames in these movies.
I have a tough
He's-
time hearing him now and not hearing the voice of Arby's.
Is
But
is he the voice of Arby's?
yeah, we have the meats.
I wish you'd never said that. I wish I could go about my life.
Ethan,
not
you
knowing
need
that.
to get the new double meat sandwich from Arby's.
Please stop. You're making everything worse.
We have the meats. Bum 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 bum. Yeah.
I will never not unhear that, and I blame you.
You know, that jingle's actually made by Pusha T.
No, that's the McDonald's one.
I think he did both of those, bro.
Did he?
I could be mistaken, but yeah.
I thought he released that song where he was mad because he did the McDonald's one, and then I think he redid the Arby's one. But yes, he did. He and his brother, I think it was both of them, did the McDonald's one.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they did both.
That's
Side
funny.
tangent on Pusha T.
Yeah, that would have been him and.
I just got disconnected from the internet.
Alex.
Care to comment, Nathaniel?
It's
How do you
probably
all-
Waz kicking everyone.
Oh, because he.
We're still rolling or no?
Can you
No,
mute
we
my
should be
mic? I
okay.
need to yell at.
Okay.
No, I'll be fine.
I was like, how do you all feel about with some of the flack this may get? The same flack any middle part may get. Certainly a part 1 or part 2, right, where it ends on a anger. How do you guys feel about that? I feel like they actually did it pretty well with some character, some full story arcs. But what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say the only thing about that I felt like where it really did feel sort of part 1, part 2 was the death of Ilsa and like immediate slotting in of Grace in some ways, where that just kind of felt very like one out, one in.
Yeah, it did, yeah, it just felt like, oh, well, at least we have another one of these, you know.
Yeah, but her in overall as a part one, it did feel much more of like kind of an even-handed handoff. I think, like I talked about earlier. And yeah, really good overall. I would say between that and Across the Spider-Verse, it's tied for the ones over the best ones of the summer so far. Part ones.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Fun movie.
What did you think of the big jump?
Anticlimactic.
Really? I actually thought it was more climactic.
I just
Yeah.
I
saw it coming of how they were going to do it.
I
Yeah.
saw that whole behind the scenes video
Oh.
and it ruined it for me a little bit. I wish they wouldn't have released it. I wish they would have just released it after the movie came out. I get that you kind of wanted to build up hype for it, but they did this whole behind the scenes thing and it shows how they built the ramp and Tom Cruise jumping off of it a couple times and all that. And so it was just like, oh, I know this is coming. I've seen this before pretty much, and it was kind of cooler to see it without context almost, because I actually saw him go off the cliff instead of it getting cut in between. Still good, but I just was expecting it.
Gotcha.
And if I hadn't seen that sequence and I was like, oh shit, is he about to like ride off this cliff? Like I would have been like, okay, cool, this is a lot cooler. But everyone knew it was coming. I'd already seen him do it in the behind the scenes. So between all of that, I was just kind of left a little remiss.
I don't know. I think for me, from what I had seen in the trailers and everything, the jump itself ended up being pretty cool.
I mean, it was
and
cool.
a little bit better overall. I
Just
felt
not
like
my
they
favorite.
saved a little bit more.
In terms of like Tom Cruise stunts, not my favorite.
Fair enough.
I think the plane one was cooler. And what did he do in Fallout that was really impressive?
Well, it's the parachute jump, and then it's the dangling
Yeah.
underneath the helicopter.
Yeah. The parachute jump is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's cool. But yeah, good stunt. We'll see what they do in the next one, or what he does. He really wants to die.
Trying.
He's trying his
Should we
hardest.
should we try and rank it?
We shall try and rank it not as dangerous as a stunt as cliff jumping is with the motorcycle and all that, you know. But we'll do our best to make it exciting. Welcome back, listeners who skipped over the spoiler segment of the podcast. We're going to go ahead and throw Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 up upon our glorious Entropy list, which is our big list of all the movies we've reviewed, all compared to one another, all on one fantastic list. It's linked to my Letterboxd if you'd like to reference it for yourself. Mission Impossible. There's so many on here. Oh, Part 2. No, I'm looking for Part 1. There we go. All right. Maverick comes to mind in terms of comparison. I think Maverick is. Do I think it's better? Maverick currently sits at 55, below Pig and above Glass Onion. Low key, a little bit low.
Lower than I thought. But
Actually,
then, like,
that's criminally low.
it's
'Cause
actually
we need to move Doctor Strange
no
and
way,
Shang.
dude. It's actually
down.
a good place. We just fucking have Doctor Strange,
Yeah,
Shang-Chi,
we
and
gotta
Suicide Squad,
we
in
gotta
a wrong
move
place.
those year 4 boys. We gotta band
Right.
together.
And even Guardians 3 might be a little bit of a
Guardians
reach,
3
but
is a
like,
little-
I mean, I don't think it's that
I think
low. When
Maverick
you-
just needs to
when you
move up.
reference like Scream, John Wick, American Psycho, Black Hawk Down,
I think there's some movies that need to
Kill
move
Bill Volume 2.
down.
You know what
But
I mean?
in
Yeah, it's
general,
not-
I think Maverick just needs to move up to like above Guardians 3, or maybe even above Scream. Just
we
below
need
them.
to move 49, 50, and 51 out of there. Deadpool's awesome. We can let
Suicide
Deadpool
Squad's
rock
good.
out.
I think 49, 50 need
For sure.
to move. Deadpool we can let rock. I think Suicide Squad we can let rock as well. But we just need to move 50. We need to move Top Gun up. Regardless, this is all semantic. Do I like this or Top Gun more? Shit.
I know. I think I know where I'm rocking.
Where are you rocking, Blake?
tough to say aloud, but it's tough because I actually like it more than Top Gun. But then when I'm seeing everything that's around there, like I'm not as big on this as I am on like Boys in the Hood, Scream, American Psycho. Nope. John Wick, that's like another action cap. I think I would like the first John Wick over this. I'm probably pushing. It's good though. It's better than Bullet Train. I'm gonna push it 49. I'll put it above all train shit. Garbage for sure.
So 49 below Boys in the Hood, above Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Good spot. Good
Yeah.
spot. I'm so torn. I can't decide if this is better than Maverick. Because Maverick was good. Maverick was real good. I don't know if it's better than Top Gun Maverick, but I do know it's better than these movies, and I'm going to put it at 48.
So same ballpark then.
Same
yeah.
ballpark, yeah. I like
You like it more. You're putting it above Boys in the Hood.
putting it above Boys in the Hood. Yeah, I definitely like this more than Boys in the Hood.
I think I'm gonna.
Nathaniel?
I'm close. I think I'm gonna have this at 54, and it's not the superhero movies that are doing it. It's Kill Bill.
Kill Bill 2. I
Yeah.
know, man.
Kill
That's what I
Bill-
was thinking
Kill Bill is
myself.
rough.
So like,
I
yeah,
blame you, Nathaniel.
I was thinking myself, brother. I seen Kill Bill Volume 2, and I was like, action? Do I
Yeah.
like this more than Tarantino? Probably not.
Someone split the Kill Bills.
yeah, we did, and it started
and,
a big.
and it started a rift
Yeah,
that
it really
may
did.
never be closed.
Some I would
Open
argue
void.
deserve to be there, but yes, I'm making a
Do you know
cons-
who split the Kill Bills, fellas?
It was probably
I have a-
me.
I have a hunch.
I
Well,
have to
I-
assume.
you-
I think it's the gentleman talking
It's
right
Nathaniel's fault, period, just
Yeah.
because he said, I don't want to put them that high because if we watch their Tarantino film, they have to go higher. And I said, okay, that's fine. And you said no. And so you put them criminally low for where it should have been. And now you've created this problem.
now. Volume 2 is awesome.
Anyways,
So you're sacrificing Volume 2 for all the schlock?
yes, I'm putting yes in some ways. I'm also sacrificing Pig as well too, because I think Pig is another arguable one here. But yeah, I do think this one's probably better as a movie than Top Gun Maverick. So far, at least, it's less homoerotic, arguably. No one's gonna pick me up there. Okay, anyways,
No, I'm just going to let that sit for you.
there wasn't a scene of double way half naked football, and I'm upset about it.
Ooh, that was fun. What do they call it?
I don't remember actually.
Dogfight football?
Dogfight football. We'll go with that.
I think it was something like that.
Anyways, 54 below Kill Bill Volume 2, above Pig. And that's my vote. Even it out, and then we'll obviously have to add Ty in there. So we get a tentative ranking on this bad boy.
So you were 54, I was 48, and Blake, you were 49.
Yeah, where does that put us now?
That gives us an even rating of 50.3 as of right now. Meaning we have to tie break it with Shang-Chi. I'm putting it above Shang-Chi. That's not even a debate.
yeah, I'm done with it.
I don't think anyone would disagree. In fact, I could even stretch it and say let's put it above Doctor Strange, but I won't. Maybe I won't go that far. Yeah, Tyler's gonna have to weigh in, and that ranking may change. Likely will go up or down a little bit once he sees the film and gives us his ranking. Let me mark down somewhere. I'm going to put in the show notes here that what our rankings were so we have easy access to the average that we need to add on. But anyway. That's
I'm sorry. Where did that put us tentatively, though? I'm sorry.
Tentatively, it's at 50, and it's split Doctor Strange and Shang-Chi.
Oh, I'm fair. Hurts it's above Kill Bill too, but I had sacrificed some greater good for this. I couldn't let Marvel win, So I had to sacrifice my greater good to put this above.
Just like the SAG strike, you can't let Marvel win.
That's right.
Well, that's it for this review. Our review next week. What are we reviewing next week, Nathaniel?
I believe it is Oppenheimer, sir.
Is it Oppenheimer? Oh man, little indie film. Do you think this is gonna be? I can't even ask that question because I don't think it'll be Dark Knight. But I was gonna ask if you think it'll be Nolan's biggest box office, but I don't think anything will top Dark Knight.
Is Dark Knight even his biggest
it
one?
top?
It
Is
could be
Interstellar?
Inception.
You know what?
thinking
It's Inception. It's
possibly
got to be.
Inception.
Nolan box office. Let me see. Every Nolan film ranked by the box office.
Number 1, Insomnia.
Number 1, Memento. What? Memento's 10, Prestige 9, Insomnia 8, Tenet is 7.
Tenet.
Partially COVID.
Tenet.
Partially it's an average movie.
Tenet.
Batman Begins 6, Dunkirk 5. Do we want to get? You guys want to guess the top 4?
No. I want to know.
Interstellar, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises.
Well,
and
yeah.
Inception.
Do you want to guess the order though?
That's the order.
Oh, so you think Interstellar, The Dark Knight Rises, then Inception?
Let's flip The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises.
So you think Dark Knight 1 or Dark Knight 2?
I'm thinking Interstellar, Dark Knight Rises, The Dark Knight, Inception.
Okay.
Nathaniel, do you have a guess, or
No.
you just want to know?
I just want to know.
Well, it is Interstellar 4 with 716 million.
So I got that right.
Inception 3
Ah,
with 836 million.
And Dark Knight Rises has got to be a Billy.
Dark Knight is basically 1 billion, 1,006,234,000. So basically a billion, and Dark Knight Rises is just over that. It's 1,881 million. So 1.081. I don't know if that's how that works, but whatever. Yeah, Dark Knight Rises is his biggest movie, which makes sense given the hype that Dark Knight created. You got to finish the trilogy out. You got Tom Hardy in there, yada yada yada. But yeah, I will see. Do you think this breaks 1 billion?
ooh, different times. I doubt it.
I don't think so.
I doubt it. Yeah, different times.
Different times,
streaming and
maybe.
how shit is.
Well, I think not only streaming, but I think just the times we live in. I don't know how many people internationally, especially in international box offices, I don't know how many people want to see a movie about nukes. Japan's already banned it, which I don't know how big of a box office they are. I understand their decision. Internationally, I don't. We'll see. I think that's my biggest question, because I think The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises killed in China. Like, Chinese audiences loved the Batman trilogy. So that's going to be a big determinant to whether this gets to 1 billion. And I don't even know if China's going to show it. We'll see. I don't know if that one's been banned or not yet, but we'll see. Either way, I think it's going to be a good box office. It will likely make money. And this is his first film with Universal, because he was with the Warner Bros. For a while. So this is his first one with Universal. We'll see how that turns out. Apparently, I think Warner Bros. Is begging for Nolan back. They realize their mistake. And we'll see what happens, because I'm sure Universal is very happy keeping him.
Yeah, I don't know. Any of the studios are enemy number 1 right now. So
True. Yeah. Speaking of which, you want to talk a little bit about these strikes going on?
yeah, are we outside of?
Yeah, we're done with the review. Oppenheimer next week. Go check that out. I'm sure you all are doing that already. I'm very excited.
Yeah, so the Writers Guild has been striking for about a month or so now, or a little bit longer. I think they said 50 days or something like that.
Around there. Sounds about right.
And now the Screen Actors Guild has also joined in striking, though they are striking for different reasons. It was because a deal was not able to be reached with either guild with the producers union. And now they're both striking together. And yeah. There's various different demands, complaints that they both want. The writers are much more fairer wages for them. Residuals on streaming, I think, is some of it, and then also guarantees that they won't be using AI to generate prompts and that kind of thing. Screen actors seems to be also
Residuals I saw as a big
residuals
thing
from streamers is a big thing, yes, and I believe more consistent, like kind of access to the healthcare as well too. And they would want to have guarantees on image rights and image likeness.
Right.
There has been, I guess, stories already of background actors going in and getting like scanned by studios, and them having the ability to kind of just slot them into the background for anything. Whereas in previous generations, that was a genuine career you could have is be a background actor and be a part of the guild and part of the union and have benefits and that kind of thing. So, yeah.
They saw Black Mirror.
That's apparently a big part of it, yeah.
Which I don't blame them. That episode was freaky.
Yeah,
Makes me want to read every terms and conditions now.
It's true.
What's sad is that probably won't happen.
No. No.
It's just, how can you, you know?
Well, and any real lawyer would take a look at that and shred it in seconds. Yes, it's not ironclad as they make it, for sure. But yeah. So, yeah, both guilds are on strike. It's, in my opinion, a good thing.
Oh, it's a great thing. Yeah,
the producers should come back to the table and owe them that, and support both guilds, both unions, and rock on, team.
I think this could go on for a while. Looking at where they're at
least they're predicting at least through the end of the year.
Yeah, I could very well see that happening because it doesn't seem like either side's really looking to budge. And to be honest, if I'm the actors, like why would you move?
Yeah.
Like eventually it is just going to start hurting the production companies much more and the producers much more than it is the actors, I think. Because the actors, a lot of them that they're fighting for, because it's not when we say yes, the Actors Guild is striking. It's not the A-list actors. It's not Cillian Murphy and Oppenheimer. It's not Matt Damon. It's not Tom Cruise. It's your TV actors, your soap opera actors, your background actors who are trying to make a living. Basically, they're not making a ton of money off of, like you said, residuals is a big thing. Because like I saw today on Twitter, one of the actresses in This Is Us has received like less than $1 in residuals from streaming rights of This Is Us, and like apparently it's like that was something that if you got that kind of role, you could not live off of, but pay some of your bills with in terms of residuals and like reruns and rights and stuff like that, and just not really a thing in streaming. Which is wild to think about because you have to keep working and you can't just, there's no really steady paychecks at this point for them. It's very hard. So given all that they're asking for, which I saw the numbers on it, isn't really that much when you look at the profits versus and how big these companies are to what they're asking for. Obviously, it's millions and millions of dollars, but these are some of them. Looking at Disney, billion-dollar corporations, and I think Apple is on the list for a few $1 million, and they're a $1 trillion corporation. It's just like, let's be real here, people. Like, when is that? Like, can we just be reasonable here? We're not asking for that much in terms of your grand profit margins. So, oh well. I definitely support the writers and actors. I mean, you'd kind of hard not to. And in terms of like what this does for the consumer and watcher and viewer, to be honest, I don't care if it affects me in terms of in a year and a half to 2 years, we might see a gap in a lot of the things that are coming out just because there hasn't been anything being made. You know, we're taking 6 months off in productions. There's so much out already. You could stop now forever, and I probably wouldn't watch everything I wanted to watch in my lifetime. So fine, I don't care, and I hope no one else eventually switches sides and be like, I want my new stuff. Like, there's so much out here already. You could stop now, and I'd be okay. I'd make it through. So yeah, hopefully that all gets squared away, and you know the writers and actors get what they want. What did the director's deal? What did that look like? Did they get a good deal, or I don't know the specifics of that.
I'm not 100% sure either.
Okay. I didn't know if you'd read into it more than I.
Nope.
Hopefully they got a good deal, but who knows? They seem to settle, or they seem to. They made their deal, so I don't know if it was
as public knowledge.
Amicable or not. We'll see. We have time for what we're watching. I mean, we got like 10, 15 minutes if you guys want to.
Yeah, I got something I want to share real quick that I got
go
to. One of a dear friend of ours, a gentleman who's on the podcast, was referencing a movie to me, and I finally got around to it. That movie is by a gentleman named David Slade, who's made 30 Days of Night, a film that I've been on here praising for a long, long time that we need to get on here. It actually may be on the short list of horror movies.
I don't know if it is, but I'll add it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Nonetheless, it was not 30 Days of Night. Favorite horror movies from the 2005 onward. This one's actually called Hard Candy. So I got across the Hard Candy. Shout out to Nathaniel.
Yes.
Kind of put me on that. He was like, hey, I know you like horrors and thrillers. I know you like David Slade. I know you like Patrick Wilson. I know most of us like Elliot Page. So Hard Candy is a movie 2000s, 05, and it involves Elliot Page and Patrick Wilson.
You cut out a little bit there, Blake.
Oh no!
I think
you
you said it was starring Elliot Page and Patrick Wilson. I think you just got to stay like right in front of your mic, otherwise it's having trouble picking you up right now.
Yeah, I think I turned on this noise suppression, turned this fan on in the background. So, but yeah, nonetheless, Hard Candy is from 05, directed by David Slade, starring Elliot Page and Patrick Wilson.
Yep.
Patrick Wilson, I guess pre-spoilers, right? He plays a pedophile, somebody who's into young. And Elliot Page plays the role of in there. She's probably 14. Really good thriller, though. It's got some pretty brutal
psychological torture for sure.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's damn good. Shout out to you. You put me on. So I think Saturday, and I watched it. I think I watched it Sunday night.
Sure.
Didn't have anything going on Sunday night. Went on our old good friend Tubi, who has fucking best streaming service.
It really has, just
bar none. Honestly, it's not even, especially once you factor in cost.
Yeah,
this thing's free.
Yeah.
So yeah, went on Tubi, typed in hard candy, found it on there. But man, talk about a psychological thriller kind of horror vibe that I've somehow missed by David Slade before he made 30 Days of Night is it's damn good. One thing I would kind of say is that I'm almost mad I didn't see this because Patrick Wilson.
Sure.
So like watching this movie, I'm kind of like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, because I like Patrick. Where if I would have saw this in 2005 and I didn't really know who this was, I'm probably much more on the other side. But this movie does kind of tightrope that line of like,
100%.
Well, should I be rooting for this person? Should I be rooting for this person?
Yeah,
this person. Sick in the head. This person.
I think that's how I tried to pitch it to you, where I was like, this is a movie that just like fucks with who you as the audience member are like aligned with at any given moment, and you're just like,
for sure.
Oh,
man.
It's uncomfortable, but
yeah.
I really liked that movie. I think I saw it for the first time within the last 2 years as well too, or something like that. I might have even talked about it on pod at the time. But it's a really, really, really fun, just mean little thriller. Not a lot of people in it. Not a long
there's
time.
Like 3 people in the cast.
Right.
I want to say maybe 4.
Right.
Yeah, I think 4.
And
he counts
just
his wife or his girlfriend who comes at the end.
One of the ones where you're just like, what? Like, again, you don't know what's happening. You don't really know like who you can trust, and then it's as a movie fucking with you as a viewer, while horrible things are happening on screen at the same time too. And it's just it's really fun.
Yeah.
Good little.
Elliot Page is awesome in that.
Yeah,
he killed it.
Yeah, he did amazing. And Patrick Wilson too. Like,
oh, for sure.
I wish I wish there was a male equivalent of a Scream Queen. Like, he fully is just like your go-to horror man. Like at this point,
him or my man Justin Long.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
Debatable.
Yeah, both
Very
Scream Queens of the male scene in
for sure
in horror movies. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to discuss. Like, I got the Heart of Candy, David Slade, Tubi 2005. Anybody who's of like that horror thriller genre, check it out.
I'm
and
glad.
Then after you watch that, run 30 Days of Night too. It's fucking awesome.
I'm glad that for as long as we've been friends, I'm still just digging out movies that I've remembered that you hadn't seen yet and got to experience for the first time.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Yeah, you feel I still got to get you to watch those. I know what you did last.
I know.
That's one
That's
I'm
true.
still holding on to. You gotta this Halloween. You gotta like say fuck it and cut them out.
I gotta
You know what
commit.
I mean?
Yeah, I gotta commit to that to this fall. In terms of what I've been watching, it really hasn't been much. I've just been watching a lot of. I've been catching up on the Mission Impossibles. I've been watching
Where
UFC.
are those streaming? I thought of trying to like watch some of those. Granted, I did the watch. I want to say it was like a year and a half ago.
Yep,
Just out of boredom.
we
Are
actually
they
found
streaming
them.
anywhere right now?
Yeah, they're all on Paramount Plus.
Oh yeah, I don't even have it.
So, but yeah, I've been keeping up with those. There was new episodes of Forged of Fire that dropped on Netflix, so I watched some of those as well too. And then it's just been the usual YouTubes and Twitch, that kind of thing as well too. Adam, you been watching anything?
I got the first 2 episodes of Black Mirror season 6.
Oh yeah, I saw the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
Yeah, so the first one is Joan is awful.
Joan is awful. I was gonna say everybody hates Joan, but that's a different show.
Yeah, Joan is awful, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
Liked it. That's the one with Selma Hayek. And the actress, I don't know her name, but the actress,
I believe it's Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek. But the actress who,
It's Annie something.
yeah, who plays the lead in that.
She's from
episode.
Schitt's Creek.
Oh, is she? Okay, I
Yeah.
haven't seen that show. But she was very good. Liked her a lot. And then I saw episode 2, which was probably one of the least Black Mirror episodes there's been, period. But also in some ways like the most relatable in terms of like. It's very just modern in its take. It's
Sure.
not. It's not anywhere. It like feels like it could happen.
Wait,
today.
did I watch that one?
It was called Lock Henry.
I did not watch that one.
Okay. Very very good. Definitely jarring in its like. Just
The way Black Mirror is occasionally jarring.
Yeah.
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 Sure.
It definitely hits you a little bit in terms of like, oh wow, we have just because it is one of those ones where it's like it's probably happened already almost.
Cool.
So yeah, I think that's probably up there as one of my. It's a high ranking in terms of Black Mirror episodes. I liked it a lot. I'm gonna keep going. I've liked the first 2 episodes of the season, and I'm excited to see where the rest go. What else did I watch? I saw Blackening again. I think I mentioned that on pod a couple weeks ago. That was fun. Yeah, I don't know. I've been watching a little bit more. Oh, I finished Breakpoint part 2 of season 1, which is that tennis documentary show on Netflix. Pretty good. They I think last time I talked about it, I wanted more on-court action. They did a little bit more. Still some improvement to be had there. I think I figured it out what I kind of need specifically, and I need them to find a way to show how hard they're actually hitting the ball.
Gotcha.
And I don't know how you do that, but I need them to show it because tennis at that level, I don't think people realize how fast a 130-mile-an-hour serve is. Like, you don't see the ball receiving it. Like, the fastest serve I've ever seen is around 115. I didn't see it.
Sure.
Like, I tried to react to it, and I did hit the ball, but I didn't return it. Like you just I can't imagine what 130 looks like, especially with all the topspin that they have.
How far is a tennis court?
I don't know what the dimensions of it. It's relatively longer than you'd
It's
think.
not as it's farther than a pitcher mount, 60 feet.
Yes, it's way farther than
Okay.
60 feet. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me see how long it is because I don't know the exact measurement, to be honest. Not really something you think about. It's kind of just always there.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to
78 feet.
Oh, okay. So it's probably bouncing around 60 feet.
Yes. It does feel very similar to hitting in some respects. Having you kind of adjust for the pace of the ball. It is. Oh, this is showing me in meters now. I just wanted.
Oh no. We've
God,
reached the international
Here
system.
we go. 78 feet. The baseline in singles is 27 feet wide. with the doubles alley, you get 4.5 feet on each side. So anyway, yeah, I need them to show in some way how fast the ball is, or how hard the ball is getting hit, and how fast the ball is moving, and how quick these people have to be. Like, even in high school, I played some people who were just like, I just can't get to the ball quick enough.
Sure.
Like, you are just hitting it so hard and so well placed, where I'm not a fast person by any means, but like, I just physically can't get to the ball quick enough. And like, when you see Carlos Alcaraz, who just won the Wimbledon title, so I watched a little bit of that match. I watched about 2 sets of that match. He beat Djokovic, thank God. Alcaraz is like, he's next up. He's
That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be the one to beat for the next 15 to 20 years. So learn the name, because you're going to be hearing it a lot. He's actually insane. But yeah, so watching him move around, it's just, he's able to get to every single ball. Like, you watch some of these rallies, and it's just like 98% of tennis players at that level can hit the shots he's hitting.
Sure.
He's just so quick. But yeah, I need them to get on court and just kind of give you an idea of what these balls look like when they're coming at you in some way. I don't know how they do it, but that's what you kind of need to understand, and that's what makes tennis so exciting. If you saw tennis in real life at that level, and you saw just how hard they're hitting, it changes it completely, your context of that sport. Because when you only watch it on TV, it looks really slow compared, because you can track it and everything, compared to when you see it in person. You just realize that you obviously you see the dimensions of it.
Yeah,
You're just like,
I'm with you.
How fast the ball goes, and you barely even see it, man. It's it's wild when so I need them to show that somehow. I don't know how you accomplish that. Netflix, if you want to, sign me on as a consultant, I'm there for it. I can help you guys out.
Ready?
I'm ready. We'll get there together.
Balls in your court, Netflix.
Balls in your court, Oh, that was another. Oh, this is a tangent. We have Mission Impossible Fallout in the background. That was the other big stunt. That was
where he
in
broke
Fallout,
his foot.
Where he breaks his foot. Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I don't think I've started quarterback,
Which was the other
one.
one,
Which is like the NFL one.
Yeah.
I assume from the same creators as all these other ones
seems
now.
like it, right?
Or at least the same team or producers or whoever. So that follows Patrick Mahomes, Marcus Mariota, and Kirk Cousins through the 2022-23 NFL season. And then I watched like half of the first.
I heard
episode.
that was good.
It's pretty solid. Not gonna lie, it's pretty solid. It's funny watching all these shows, kind of thinking like, this is just marketing at the end of the day. And so like for the NFL specifically, is like, oh, as an American, I know who the quarterback is, but then like they're putting on the show, which I'm assuming is broadcast internationally, trying to drum up interest in the NFL internationally. It's like, oh, they have to kind of explain what the quarterback does and like why they're important and like why it's such a big position in all of sports and that kind of thing. So it's funny what kind of watching it with that context. And cool seeing Patrick Mahomes and all these quarterbacks kind of behind the scenes. I don't think a lot of people realize how much goes into that. You kind of have an idea that there is so much, but truly, like, just the amount of stuff that they do is insane. Yeah, I've been having a good time on Netflix, just watching a bunch of sports docs.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, and Black Mirror.
All right, let's get on out of here for the week.
Yeah, let's do it. What's next here? Any 5-star reviews, Nathaniel?
No 5-star reviews, but folks, if you want to give us a 5-star review, I will read it out on Apple Podcasts. Yeah, as long as it's 5 stars. Anything less, sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
That's right.
You can also follow the podcast or share the podcast. Share this is a big one. Share with a friend, a family member, member of your spy team.
That's right.
If you got one of those, that's pretty cool. Congrats. Then go ahead and also follow us on Twitter at BanterRow, on Instagram at Back Row Banter Pod, and we're on YouTube. We're just Back Row Banter there. Please go subscribe to us, even if it is not your primary place of listening. BlakeHolder, where can the people find you at, my man?
Letterboxd, BlakeHolder. I'll be on there logging some things, rating them out of 5 stars. And yeah, that's about it. We'll go. Actually, there's only 2 of us, so we'll go Popcorn Nathaniel.
You can always find me on Twitter and Letterboxd at NSGameBreak. You can find me on Instagram at NathanielG92. Sandpiper Tapes is my other podcast. Adam. tell me where the people can find you.
I'm on Twitter at Aish24, on Letterboxd at Aish, and Twitch if I ever get back to streaming, which I kind of miss it, so maybe I will. That's twitch.tv/Aish, AYYSH for all of those. I think that'll do it here for episode 155. Thank you all for listening, especially if you've made it this far into the episode. You're my favorite kind of listener, and we really do appreciate it. Join us next week for our review of Oppenheimer. A long time coming for this one. I'm excited.
That's true.
But yeah, we'll BRB.
Be excellent to each other, everyone, and we will BRB.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for listening. We wouldn't be able to continue this podcast if it wasn't for you. We'll BRB.
This episode will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
America. Ready for another lesson.
Okie doke. I've got my stuff sorted.
You good?
I'm good.
How about you, Blake?
Yes, sir.
All right. What a good sketch. Hey, Ron. Present.
So yeah, I got that all the time, and I didn't even know what that was until my, I think it was my AP Psych teacher.
Showed you.
Yeah, well, he didn't show me. He was just the first person who, well, I guess he probably was the first person to show me. I don't think he was the first person to call me Blake, but he definitely like broke it down in class.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh, wow.
That's
And
gonna
then-
ruin my life for
yeah.
the next foreseeable future.
And then the girl I dated all throughout college, her name was Jacqueline.
Oh no.
Oh,
So yeah, it was, yeah, for sure. It was jokes every time we had to introduce ourselves to other people.
I should have just been like, yes, I'm Key and this is Peel.
Jake Quellen?
'Cause it's going to be less
Every time, man.
of
Oh, that's funny.
That is arguably their best skit, though, in my opinion.
I think that's their most
I could be
famous
biased.
one.
it's definitely their most famous.
It's definitely the most famous. It's up there as one of their best. I still love the fake college football
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the other one that
playoffs or
I think. Hingle McCringleberry.
Hingle McCringleberry.
Okay, how do you all feel about the like the black handshake one? What is that going?
Oh,
through
the
black
Obama
handshake
one?
with
That one's
Barack
fantastic,
Obama?
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's probably their second most.
That
famous one
one's
I could probably
that
imagine.
one's definitely up there as well. They have some sleepers though, man. There's a lot of
that
good
was nice.
sketches.
Big.
Now, speaking of skits, how much of the Chappelle Show have you seen, Adam?
None.
Oh my God, yeah. So we're talking about skits, man. You're missing some fucking gems, bro.
Yeah.
Back when Dave Chappelle was
Not
as
canceled.
controversial, yeah.
Yeah. No, he's got some funny skits, man.
Yeah, that's-
I'm sure Nathaniel. I'm sure you've seen most of the Chappelle Show.
I have in like the fact that I have just seen all of the skits. I have never like sat down and watched an episode of the Chappelle Show. It's always just been like, you got to watch this bit, or you got to watch this
Yeah, for
sketch, or you
sure.
got to watch this thing.
How many seasons of that are there?
Lots,
Ooh.
I think, like
I don't know. It's probably
3. or
Probably. Yeah, I was gonna say probably 3, 4.
yeah.
Gotcha.
'Cause
That was
he
like 'cause-
stopped for a while.
Yeah,
he went,
and moved to Africa.
basically went AWOL. Yeah, I think they were trying to take.
I missed that.
Yeah, there's a whole bit where he was gonna get
That's-
paid like a ton of money, and then just was like, "Nope, I'm done. Like, I'm out."
So that's so crazy then. So Adam's introduction to Dave Chappelle is basically like his reintroduction to society in like
It was, yeah.
2016,
I
or
hadn't
whatever it was.
really even heard of him.
You would've
and then all of a
missed-
sudden
Wow,
everyone's
that's
freaking
so
out about
crazy.
Dave Chappelle coming back. I'm like, who's this guy?
You would have missed
Yeah.
his monster years. Yeah, absolutely.
When
Yeah,
did he
so
run
he-
his sketch show?
Would have been early.
Uh,
2000s.
Okay.
That Chappelle show had to be what I think probably like 03 to 07,
Somewhere in
something like
there,
that.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I don't think it's 90s, but then I know
Yeah.
he did stand up before that.
So him coming
like,
back
most
was a pretty big deal then. If he was gone for 9
Oh, it was
years.
huge, yeah, because he basically had the Chappelle Show, which was hilarious, right? He did stand up before that, and even did some stand up between. Then he had a Chappelle Show, which is like Key and Peele,
Yeah.
and then I think they were trying to take
03.
03, yeah, they were pretty much trying to take creative control over that and kind of dictate some of his skits. And I think kind of the rumor of it is that a lot of the skits that they wanted him to do was more so of like him making fun of black people, which he already did a lot in general, but I think he didn't really prefer that creative control to come from somebody else and that not be like his own narrative. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's when he was like,
changes it.
I'm just gonna chill and go to Africa and kick it.
Yeah.
And then basically like it was like we'll probably never see Dave Chappelle again. And then you like woke up one day in 2016 and it was like Dave Chappelle's got a special on Netflix tomorrow. And it was like nuts to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, you talk about some all-timers up there. The black white supremacist is probably
Oh yeah, that's the best one by far.
That one's
that's the best one.
incredible.
If you watch anyone, Adam, it's got to be the black white supremacist one. But Dave Chappelle in his skit, he plays a black guy who's blind and he doesn't know he's black, and he's a white supremacist. So it's hilarious though, bro.
It's like genuinely, you watch it today and you're like, how the fuck was this on TV?
Oh, for
like,
sure,
on
yeah.
broadcast television, just like, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think that's even more so where he's kind of like, I can see why he was like, I don't think I'm comfortable doing this stuff anymore.
Right,
He was like, I don't know if these people are laughing at my jokes or if they're laughing at me. And I think that's what kind of got on his nerves, and he's like, I can't do this anymore.
That and Wayne Brady. Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
All right.
That one's funny. The Prince one is funny.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it after.
You got to, dude. Yeah, he's got some fucking shit.
Yeah.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Yeah, that's quotable. Always.
Well, that and the I could not tell you how many times people did Little John, or Dave Chappelle's impression of Little John, to the point that people just thought that was what Little John was at some point. Like he like that kind of became part of his personality at some point. The caricature of Little John, like the what? Yeah, like
and even the other side, not reoccurring character, I guess the recurring comedians who would be on there. So you had like Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy is fucking hilarious, dude. Arguably funny than his brother. Guess it depends on if you're talking like stand up or just like character acting.
Is that Kevin Murphy's brother?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy's brother.
Who the fuck is Kevin?
Who is Kevin Murphy?
I don't know who. I
meant Eddie Murphy.
I thought he was going to say who is Eddie Murphy. I was like, Eddie Murphy's like an OG king of comedy.
Yeah.
With like Bernie Mac and those guys. But yeah, man, I would definitely challenge you. I'm sure your brothers have seen at least a few skits of the Chappelle Show, and that shit is all-time classics, bro. Like Comedy Central, 2007 midnight. That's the shit that was on. It's like sleep over with your buddies, turn on Comedy Central's
Chappelle Show.
For sure, man.